This episode of Food Psych is brought to you by my online course, Intuitive Eating Fundamentals. If you're ready to break free from diet culture and reclaim the life it stole from you, learn more and sign up for the course at christyharrison.com/course. That's christyharrison.com/course. Welcome to Food Psych, a podcast about intuitive eating, health at every size, body liberation, and taking down diet culture. I'm your host, Christy Harrison, and I'm an anti-diet registered dietitian, certified intuitive eating counselor, and author of the book, Anti-Diet, Reclaim Your Time, Money, Well-Being, and Happiness Through Intuitive Eating, which is available now wherever books are sold. Join me here every week as I interview interesting people from all different backgrounds about their paths toward peace with food and their bodies. And by the way, on this show, we bleep out diet culture stuff like weight and calorie numbers, but we don't censor swear words or other adult language, so listener discretion is advised. Anti-diet revolution, we're for health at every size. Eat the foods you like. Hey there, welcome to episode 275 of Food Psych. I'm your host, Christy Harrison, and today's episode is our last one for a while, so I just wanted to pop in and let you know where to find me going forward. As I've shared here before, I'm going to be taking some time off from the podcast so that I can write my next book, which is tentatively titled Rethinking Wellness. And this book is kind of a huge undertaking because in it, I'm exploring how wellness culture became so inundated with misinformation and disinformation, how it ignores the factors with the greatest impact on well-being, namely trauma and social determinants of health like poverty and discrimination, how it targets vulnerable people, and what we can do instead to create a truly health-promoting society. The book builds on the previous writing and podcasting I've done about how wellness culture is the new guise of diet culture, while also widening the lens to address a wellness landscape rife with conspiracy theories and scams, and to look at what makes us so vulnerable to these things in the first place. I'll share some of my own experience with chronic illnesses and PTSD, along with lots of analysis, scientific evidence, and interviews with some really fascinating people that are helping me shed light on all these different problems with wellness culture. And for the most part, these are brand new interviews with folks you've never heard on the podcast, although there are some old favorites that I'm talking to again. But I'm actually recording more interviews right now than I ever did, even during the busiest times of this podcast. And I'm so excited to share all the best parts of those with you in the book. The book won't be in stores until early 2023, but I actually have less than a year to write the manuscript, so I really have to clear my plate and focus on that. And so sadly, we're going to be going on hiatus after this episode, and I'm hoping to come back with season 9 sometime in late 2021 or early 2022, but I don't have a date nailed down yet. But in the meantime, there are lots of other places to find me and stay connected. So the first is my free newsletter, Food Psych Weekly. That's kind of replacing this podcast as the place where I'm going to be producing weekly content to help you make peace with food. There, I'm answering reader questions every week in an advice column on how to learn intuitive eating, make peace with food in your body, heal from disordered eating and diet culture, and reclaim your life for bigger and better things. You can subscribe at christyharrison.com/newsletter to make sure you get them. That's christyharrison.com/newsletter, and you'll get a special bonus Q&A right when you sign up as well. And if you want to ask a question for me to answer in the newsletter, as always, you can go to christyharrison.com/questions. That's christyharrison.com/questions and submit your question there. On the audio front, the podcast archives will continue to be here whenever you want to listen, and I'll be directing you to archival episodes in the newsletter too. So even if you've already listened to them all, you can still revisit your favorites and maybe learn something new. If you want to hear even more of my voice talking about anti-diet things, grab the audiobook for Anti-Diet, which I narrated myself. It's available at christyharrison.com/book or wherever you get your audiobooks. And finally, there is one podcast I'm going to keep doing throughout the hiatus, and that's the one I do every month for my Intuitive Eating Fundamentals course. So if you want to keep getting new podcast episodes from me, even while I'm writing this book, you can join the course at christyharrison.com/course. There you'll get to ask your own questions every month and have me answer them in that special podcast. And you can listen to hundreds of answers I've given to other participants already so that you can work through the nuances of intuitive eating and really put it into practice in your own life. We've been doing that podcast for almost 5 years now, so it's really a huge library of content that I would invite you to take advantage of. The course also has 13 modules of self-paced audio and written content teaching you the principles of intuitive eating in depth, plus a private community forum just for course participants so that you can have daily guidance and support from hundreds of other great people who are on the anti-diet path, as well as from me and my team. If you're ready to break free from diet culture and reclaim the life it stole from you, learn more and sign up for the course at christyharrison.com/course. That's christyharrison.com/course. So that's all I've got for you today, and I'm so sad to be leaving you on this show for a while. It's really been one of the biggest honors of my life to see how this podcast has resonated with people over the years, and to get messages from thousands of you saying how much it's changed your lives. I'm so grateful to you all for being here and for giving me and my guests your time and your awareness. And I'm wishing you so much peace and freedom and compassion in your relationship with food and beyond. And I hope to keep supporting you in your healing and stay connected in some of the other outlets that I just mentioned. To get full show notes from this episode, such as it is, including all the resources we discussed, plus a full transcript, just go to christyharrison.com/275. That's christyharrison.com/275. And to get the transcript, just scroll down to the bottom of the page and enter your email address. A big, huge thanks, as always, to our editor and sound engineer, Mike Lalonde, our community and content associate, Vinci Chue, our administrative assistant, Julianne Watasik, and our transcriptionist, Mycroft Holmes, for all of their great work in helping make this show over the years, and for continuing to help me out with the Intuitive Eating Fundamentals monthly podcast as well. Our album art was photographed by Abby Moore Photography and designed by Melissa Alam. Our theme song was written and performed by Carolyn Pennypacker Riggs. And I'm your host and producer, Christy Harrison. Thanks so much for listening, and until next time, stay psyched.